So for lesson 1, this needs to be completed the first week along with the orientation. And so the orientation exercises and lesson 1 are due on Monday, 22nd. And so what you're going to see in this block is kind of typical of how things are going to be set up week to week. We do have a reading assignment. This is an ebook that you can download. Okay, so it's in PDF format. Once it loads, you will be able to download it to your system. That can be used for the reading assignment. I am giving you the option of reading the chapters from this PDF book or using the web-based resources. Or, if you really are into reading this stuff, you can do both. Totally up to you. Okay, but that is the book. And then as far as the required readings go, if you are using the book, you can read the first 2 chapters. And if you would prefer to use the web resources, I have links to 3 different articles that you need to read. Okay, and they're varying lengths. Quite often the web articles are super, super short. Okay, but you can kind of read through these. Okay, and so you can do this, or if you guys want to do both, that's absolutely awesome. Okay, once you are done with the reading assignment, there are 2 little lectures. The first one is Object-Oriented Web Programming Overview. And so this kind of summarizes what was in chapter 1 of that book. Okay, so this is actually pretty short. And then the second one is an introduction to JavaScript. So again, this is actually pretty simple. Just kind of giving you a little introduction and overview, talking a little bit about the syntax, how to declare variables, and a lot of this same information we covered at the end of the 180 class. So for some of you, I'd say the majority of you, this is going to be just a little bit of review. And then I've got links to interactive examples that you guys can check out. Okay, so that is the reading assignment. We are not actually going to program JavaScript until next week. The programming assignment for this week involves creating an assignment page that you will be linking all of your coursework into. So we did the same thing in the 180 class. So this is kind of the skeleton for the page. It'll be an HTML5 compliant page. You could actually copy and paste this into VS Code. There is a style sheet that you are going to be creating, and I am expecting it to be in a CSS folder. Okay, now I have you guys name it index.html. Some people do not like that. And if you call something index.html, you will not be able to see the structure of the website. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Because honestly, I don't care if you call it index or if you call it assignment. Okay. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Hold on a second. Okay. So let's say you're looking at a live site. If you call a page index, you don't see the folder structure. You actually get in and it just shows you the page automatically. And a lot of students don't like that. So, instead of seeing this folder structure, what they would see is something like this. Okay. And you can't get to that folder structure. So, if you guys want to be able to see the folder structure, so you can open your different folders and kind of check out what that looks like. Then do not call it index. Okay. Instead of calling it index, you can call it assignments. Okay. So it's kind of up to you. But if you don't care about that folder structure, then call it index. Okay. And so you're going to give the page a name, either index or assignments. Okay. And for the external CSS file, again, I don't really care what you call it, but if the page is index, it makes sense to call it index CSS. If the page is called assignment, it makes sense to call it assignment.css. So this is your structure. You've got your page name, you've got the CSS created. You are going to need to style the site, and I do want a background image. So, I mean, you can get free backgrounds from freepowerpointbackgrounds.net. Okay. Or you could actually go to Pixabay. This is where I get photos from because they are royalty free. So you basically can do a search, and if you wanted a waterfall, whatever it is that you want. Do not pick the iStock ones because those are not free. Go down to royalty free. Okay, and these are actually really, really nice. Okay, so there's tons of royalty free pictures here. And then if you need to do any kind of editing of the colors, of course, you can use the LunaPic editor, which is an online editor, and that is also free. Then as far as the requirements for your CSS, I've kind of given you an example here. And this is assuming that you guys are going to do Flexbox, but you can use, whatever kind of responsive page you want. And you can see that I've got the nav section kind of set up to be a menu. Okay, so you can kind of, see I've got it styled. Okay, so this is just an example, but I do want you guys to have a font family specified. I do want a font size. I do want a background image. And with that image, you're probably going to want to set background repeat to no repeat. And you're going to want to specify a background size. For it to be responsive, it needs to be cover or contain. You could also have it at 100%. You're going to have a header and a footer. So you're going to want a background color. You can set up opacity if you want, and some kind of a width. Article and section. If you are going to use Flexbox, then this is what I would recommend for article. That would be like your parent container. And then in section, that's where you would put Flex1, and these become your flexible boxes. Okay, and so you can specify background color, padding, maximum, minimum width, minimum height, okay, all of that stuff. And I think you guys probably have enough Flexbox examples. And if you don't, there is some extra credit you might want to complete before you do this. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Heading 1, again, font family, font size, color, adding a text shadow and text alignment. Okay, those are pretty standard CSS formatting for headings. And you can see that we've also got some in here for heading 2. And then these are just suggestions for nav. This isn't like all set in stone. Okay, but this does give you a navigational menu. Okay, and then you can kind of see how that looks, at least, what I have provided. So as far as transferring your files go, at this point, what you should have in your CIT190 folder is something called index or assignments. You're going to have a media folder where you've got your background graphic. You're going to have a CSS folder with either index.css or assignments.css. And you're going to want to transfer all of that to the web. And then this is just a kind of a reminder of how to do that. Okay, and this just kind of walks you through. This is something that we did over and over again in the 180 class. And as a reminder, if you can't remember how to replace files after you make modifications, there's directions on how to do that along with a video. Some additional commands that are useful with a video that shows you how to do that. And then there's the validator. Now, I don't always find this super useful because the validator doesn't like nested tags very well. So there are some tags it might mark as wrong that are actually correct. So how you should use this is to make sure you aren't making typos because VS Code and all the other editors, because XML allows you to create your own tags, they're not going to flag a misspelled tag as a problem because they're just going to assume it's XML. So this will help you find any typos in your tags. Okay, and then this is how you are going to be graded. Okay, now for those of you struggling with the CSS on the page, might I suggest that you go through the extra credit because I think this will help you. So for the extra credit, this is the Dropbox where you're going to put done after you've finished it. And I should mention for the lab assignment, same procedure as 180. When you've got it transferred to the web and it is ready to grade, you are going to come in here, add a submission, and you are going to key in done. Okay, that tells me it is ready for grading. Okay, and that will, when I go into the Dropbox, it will show that your assignment is done. It'll show up in a different color for me. As far as the extra credit goes, responsive pages are difficult for some people. So I decided to give you guys an extra credit. And this is basically a folder that is zipped and you're going to be downloading it. You do need to decompress it. And once you get the thing decompressed, then you can actually, I wonder if I have this out here. I'll go ahead and do it. Okay. Oh, this is the Dropbox, excuse me. So this is the Dropbox where you're going to submit done, and this is where you're going to download it. And I did try to make this as easy as I can. Okay, I've already got it here. Oh, but I don't want it on iCloud. All right, let me hit that. And I'm going to extract it. All right, you get it extracted, you're going to open it up, and you'll see there's one media folder that's used by all the pages, and the pages are named according to the responsive code that you need to add. Okay, so you will right-click, open with, and you're going to choose VS Code. Okay, and so here it is showing you the page as it is right now. It has all of the styling in it except the responsive styling that you need to add. So when I said that if you're looking for ideas for styling, you very well could look at these pages. So if you want to see what this looks like, at this point, they all look the same. Right? This is what they look like. Okay, and so this is the Flexbox one. So we are adding Flexbox code to this page. Okay, and so that is the task. Now, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember how to do that, I have a Flexbox video that you can watch. Okay, and this is going to kind of walk you through that page that I just showed you, and it is going to show you how to add the Flexbox. So as you kind of look through here, it is the exact same page that you are working with. And I show you how to convert it over into Flexbox. I do the same thing with Grid View and CSS Grid. Okay. So if you choose to do all three, you're going to want to transfer all three to the web and come in here and submit done. Okay. And so this is a review. For those of you who don't remember everything, I do have resources that will that link back to the 180 course. Hold on a second. They should be displaying. All right. So what you should see are links here under course resources to the box model lecture from the 180 class, which includes Flexbox, Grid View from the 180, and CSS Grid. So if you click on these links, it takes you back to the material that we covered back in that 180 class. Okay, so that provides a nice little review for you guys. So this extra credit is worth a total of 15 points if you do all three. The lab assignment, you are going to want to complete and submit done. And again, it's just an assignment page. Okay, and that is what you need to finish up this week. So the required thing is the lab assignment. The extra credit is nice, but it is optional. Okay, and if you guys run into problems or if you have questions, please let me know because I am here to help you.